Growing from the inside out, the soul as the true teacher, the quote, "You have to grow from the inside out. None can teach you, none can make you spiritual. There is no other teacher but your own soul," points directly to the heart of authentic spirituality. It challenges the common belief that spiritual growth can be acquired through external authority, borrowed beliefs, or rigid systems. Instead, it reveals a deeper truth. Spirituality is an inner awakening, not an external achievement. From a spiritual perspective, growth is not something added to us. It is something uncovered. What we seek, peace, wisdom, love, truth, is already present within us. The journey is not about becoming something new, but about remembering who we are beneath conditioning, fear, and illusion. Human beings often look outward for guidance, teachers, scriptures, traditions, gurus, or institutions. While these can offer inspiration or direction, they cannot make anyone spiritual. Spirituality is not transferable knowledge, it is lived realization. No one can awaken on behalf of another. No matter how wise a teacher may be, their words remain concepts until they are verified through one's own experience. Spiritual truths must be felt, recognized, and embodied internally. Without inner realization, even the most sacred teachings remain intellectual. This is why the quote states, "None can teach you, none can make you spiritual." True understanding arises when insight dawns from within, not when ideas are imposed from outside. To grow from the inside out means that transformation begins at the level of consciousness. Outer changes, new habits, beliefs, rituals, or appearances may give the impression of spiritual progress, but without inner change, they remain superficial. Spiritual growth is not about appearing enlightened. It is about becoming more aware, more present, and more aligned with truth. When inner clarity develops, outer behavior naturally follows. Compassion replaces judgment. Awareness replaces reactivity. Stillness replaces inner conflict. When growth moves from the inside outward, life becomes an expression of inner harmony rather than an attempt to fix outer circumstances. The quote declares, "There is no other teacher but your own soul." In spiritual terms, the soul represents the deeper intelligence within, the intuitive knowing beyond thought, ego, and fear. It is the silent presence that senses truth without needing explanation. The soul does not speak loudly. It communicates through intuition, inner nudges, feelings of resonance or discomfort, and moments of deep clarity. When we ignore this inner voice, we may follow paths that feel empty or misaligned, even if they appear successful on the surface. When we listen, life begins to feel guided rather than forced. Spiritual growth requires learning to trust this inner guidance more than external approval or social conditioning. One of the most overlooked aspects of spirituality is unlearning. Growth from the inside out often requires releasing false beliefs, inherited fears, and identities that no longer serve us. The soul teaches not by adding layers, but by stripping them away. This process can feel uncomfortable. As old mental structures dissolve, uncertainty arises. Yet it is within this uncertainty that deeper truth emerges. The soul does not conform to rigid ideas, it expands awareness. In this sense, spiritual growth is less about accumulating knowledge and more about dissolving illusion. The quote also emphasizes responsibility. If no one can make you spiritual, then the journey is yours alone. This does not mean isolation, but inner accountability. You must observe your thoughts, confront your fears, and face your shadows honestly. Spiritual maturity arises when one stops blaming circumstances, teachers, or systems for inner unrest and begins listening inward. The soul reveals lessons through everyday experiences, relationships, challenges, silence, and suffering. Nothing is wasted when seen through awareness. To hear the soul, one must slow down. Modern life is loud, mentally crowded, and externally focused. Spiritual practices such as meditation, silence, self-inquiry, and mindfulness create space for inner listening. In stillness, the soul's guidance becomes clearer, not as commands, but as subtle clarity. What feels right, what feels false, what aligns with peace rather than fear. Over time, trust in this inner teacher deepens, and life begins to unfold with greater ease and authenticity. Spiritual teachers, books, and traditions are not useless, but they are signposts, not destinations. They point inward. The danger arises when seekers confuse the finger pointing at the moon with the moon itself. True spirituality begins when one stops outsourcing truth and starts verifying it internally. When knowledge becomes lived experience and belief becomes direct knowing, the soul steps forward as the guide. You have to grow from the inside out. None can teach you, none can make you spiritual. There is no other teacher but your own soul is a reminder of spiritual sovereignty. It affirms that the deepest wisdom is not found in external authority, but in inner awareness. To grow spiritually is to turn inward, listen deeply, and live honestly from that inner truth. When the soul becomes the teacher, life itself becomes the classroom, and every moment becomes an opportunity for awakening. True spirituality is not something you follow, it is something you remember.